went to USC, but I picked that just because they gave me a full ride. And it was based on academics. So I didn't think I was going to get to play there just because their water polo team is like insanely good. But in the end, my mom convinced me to.
So it feels like I've always been interested in the fitness industry, but so we have to go way back. I think where I got really interested in health and wellness is when I was younger, 7th grade.
Like, I feel like I'm meant to be in LA. I want to do more of the TV production side of things. I want to be in front of the camera as well. So I feel like LA is going to probably be where I move within the next few years. But then, I mean, I would be open to even going.
Yes, most definitely. The first thing is it really helped me put things into perspective that, well, chiropractic is not the most important thing in my life. I have other responsibilities, and that really kind of shifted it more towards, making me focus more on family.
Hey there, welcome to the show. In this episode, we're talking to Jason Waiton, owner of NCOA Fitness and Physical Therapy. And he goes into why physical fitness, why did he get into it, a little bit of family history, and his quirky musical taste, where he would go if he would, his whole life was on his back, all packed up, where was the first place he'd go, and who he'd interview if he had a chance and what he would ask him. All right, here you go. Enjoy the show. All right, let's cook this turkey.
All right, Robert. Check. Let's do this. I would say that I'm the founder of NCOA Fitness and Physical Therapy. Inside of the fitness space, yeah. Outside, just dad.
Just dad? That's it? No, you got to be more than just dad.
Yeah, no. Coach.
All right. So, what really interests me about, we've talked, at length at times, and you haven't always been in the fitness industry. And so so what was it that actually had you get interested in the fitness industry?
So it feels like I've always been interested in the fitness industry, but so we have to go way back. I think where I got really interested in health and wellness is when I was younger, 7th grade. My dad got diagnosed with lymphoma. So, growing up, we went through the trials and tribulations, the challenges, and just the process of trying to get him healthy. And this was back in the early 1990s. There still wasn't that much information out there. And, watching my dad go through that process really, I think, sparked the interest in, health and wellness is really important. It definitely had an impact on my family, and seeing somebody go through that made me really want to understand that world more.
Yeah. Did you say, like, at that time, this is really what I want to do, is impact people's life and their health? Or
no, I just think the experience, just, if I look at where it kind of started, that experience didn't, it didn't slap me in the face and say, this is what I want to do, but it definitely was the first awareness and where I got interested in learning more. I think, one experience that comes up for me where it's like, where I really wanted to be more impactful as a coach was high school, going into my freshman year in high school, going out for the football team. And this was a big one for me because my whole identity at that point was being an athlete, and went to an all-boys Jesuit school in Santa Clara. Was 103 pounds soaking wet. And
I think I was 103 pounds at birth.
Yeah, I think you were too. For me, I was a late bloomer for sure, so, and I thought I was fast, but you're as a young person, you're going into, that next stage of life, and all of a sudden you're running into, guys probably like you with full beards and,
hair on their back.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't that guy. So, coaches pulled me aside after tryouts and, was like, hey kid, you should go out for, cross country running or wrestling. And, I always was a team guy, and, so those sports didn't resonate with me, but, needless to say, that was a huge impact on re-identifying myself with sports and health. And fortunately, I met some other coaches that taught me to be patient and, taught me how to work out smart and train smart. And, that has always carried me inside of this passion for wanting to do more in the health and wellness field.
Yeah. You mentioned a little bit on like learning the modalities or something like that. Like what do you know? What have you studied in this field?
Well, I like to think of myself as somebody that is open to a lot of different areas of study in health and wellness, and I think diversifying yourself in that information is important as a coach when you're bringing that information back to individuals or teams or corporations. So, the one thing that I've learned is you got to handle everybody, as an individual, and you have to look at the whole person. And, those would be my, what comes up for me when you ask me that question.
Yeah. Where'd you get those tools? Who have you studied under?
Well, I started off in the collegiate, college platform, getting a bachelor's of science, working as an athletic trainer, working as a strength and conditioning coach. So there have been, a tremendous amount of teachers and mentors in that world that have helped me. Outside of that world, I continued education in massage school, a whole nother, looking at manual therapy and a whole nother side. The Czech Institute was impactful for me here at one point. Paul Czech has done a great job of simplifying information and bringing accurate information to the masses. So a lot of respect for him. But yeah, there's been a lot of teachers and mentors, and always looking to find more.
Yeah. So what's the more? What are you looking for? I hear a little birdie about you going to get certified in something else.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get more into the yoga modalities. I think I'm finding I turned 40 this last March, so for me, I'm just finding that my body needs some different stuff, and that's not something that I've explored in depth, although I definitely respect it and want to learn more.
Yeah. I found when I was all banged up from powerlifting, yoga really helped.
Yeah.
But I hid it. I was a closet yogi.
Closet yogi? Yeah. Well, now you don't have to be.
It was tough being in that closet, man.
It's accepted, yeah.
Yeah.
I see you're wearing Lululemon all over.
Yeah. I'm just diving right into that now.
Awesome.
So just totally off subject. If you had your whole life, your house, everything on your back, where would be the first place you'd go?
Wow. The first place that I would go, travel is a big value for me. I'm not super well traveled, so there's a lot of places that I haven't been. So if you're listening to this and you're well traveled, you might not agree with my first choice, but I'm gonna say Australia. Yeah.
Any particular place in Australia?
My wife has traveled Australia, and she just has so many amazing stories, about the people and the land and the surf, and so there's definitely a fascination with exploring Australia. But the answer is really just everywhere. I wanna be moving around and experiencing people and cultures in life and getting different perspectives.
Yeah. That's what totally interests me, like finding out how other people live and what are they up to.
Yeah.
So if you can impact one community, you only had one community to choose from. If you can impact that one community, which one would it be?
Well, I mean, I think from a like impact standpoint, I would go young people community, the youth. That's where the future is, and finding ways for them to learn and get some of this information is really cool. We definitely see it in the United States. It's all over the news about our obesity issues, our health issues, and getting our young people to really be committed to living healthy, not just for themselves, the environment. That I think sets the stage for our survival in the future.
Yeah, literally our future.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So this is another funky question I'm always curious about. So if you had a plate of your favorite, whatever it is in front of you, your favorite food, and somebody tried to share or reached in there, they would pull back a bloody stump. What is it that one thing that you're not going to share?
I'm not a very good sharer with, and this is going to be funny, but it's got to be the ice cream. Seriously, you know what I mean? I'll pull the ice cream out. My wife can, take the ice cream out and take one little spoon shovel off the top and put it back in, and I will literally warm it up so that it's soft and creamy, so I think I can eat it faster.
Yeah.
But that would be it. It would be the ice cream, the occasional ice cream for sure. Yeah.
You're not the only person. I asked somebody that the other day, and they're like, "Oh, ice cream." And
I have a ritual with it. It's left out for
a ritual
just long enough, so it's got that creamy texture to it
on top, and it's still a little harder on the bottom. So by the time you get to that, the whole thing just isn't a puddle.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So when I see you working with people, it's like the wheels are turning, and I know for myself, I got a checklist. I see somebody and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with them today, or I would say I kind of fly off my cuff, it's off the cuff kind of thing, individualized. What's your process? What do you go through when you see somebody?
I think from a coaching standpoint, and seeing somebody, whether it's somebody you're going to see consistently, or somebody that's coming in just for a little bit, I always have a game plan, but in life, that plan doesn't necessarily get executed perfectly, and I think you become a master in moving the plan around to adjust to the person that's standing in front of you in that moment, because that's where I think it changes. You might, people are going through different things all the time, and you have to, adjust training programs, information, motivational tools based on, that person right now in front of you.
Definitely not cookie cutter.
I don't think you can be cookie cutter. I mean, you can. I think it's a great foundation to learn to start to be cookie cutter, but I think the mastery of coaching, starts to begin inside of being able to adjust on the fly and be effective with those adjustments.
Yeah. Get the feedback from the client, see how this such and such is affecting them or whatever. Yeah, cool. So what's a childhood dream that you just forgot about, just set off to the side to?
Well, I don't. I think I've had a lot of. You have a lot of dreams. I think. I don't think I've forgotten about those dreams. I think they've just reshaped themselves around the changing of my higher values, so to speak, and those higher values have adjusted over time for me. Like I said, I'm 40 now, so my dreams and higher values when I was a kid was parent love, acceptance, friends, using my imagination. And I think, so dreams of being an athlete, those things have just adjusted inside of, me being a coach now and trying to be the best leader that I can be, in that world.
Mm-hmm. What's something that you've done that you would definitely, if you had a chance, do it over again? And what's something you have done that you're like, oh man, if I was my younger self, I would counsel him not to do that?
Definitely something that I've done that I would do again is, start my own business inside of what I love to do.
Yeah.
That's something that has been extremely rewarding. It's, obviously you've seen me kind of through the highs and lows and challenges of that. But when I step back and find that place of gratitude, I'm extremely appreciative that I've stuck to my guns and been able to, create this, NCOA fitness and physical therapy brand and team with really amazing people.
Yeah.
I think something that I have done that I wouldn't do again. Let's see. I think I would be smarter with my money earlier in life. There's been a lot of times where I've put myself inside of financial distress through, I think, poor awareness and decisions younger and, buying a car when I probably shouldn't have bought a car and, just being young and, having a lot of ego inside of, who I thought I was and what I wanted to be, and made, poor financial decisions in that. And I would do a better job of setting myself up for success earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Total agreement with that. Get a financial advisor first thing.
Yeah, I've learned a lot in business, and there's a lot of things that I would do differently inside of that.
What are you reading right now? What book is either by your table or by the shitter at home?
Well, I love to read, so I'm constantly kind of going through books, and I had just finished The Value Factor by Dr. Dermatelli, and I then was at a friend's house last week, and he was like, "Jay, you reading anything?" And I was like, "No, kind of dry right now." And he threw out a book that I love. It's about Navy SEALs, and it's called Extreme Ownership. And it's really just about the leadership and inside the Navy SEAL community, the importance of team, the importance of owning your shit, taking responsibility, keeping it simple, and adjusting the lens and perspective so that you can always find the belief in what you're doing from a bigger perspective. I'm not done with the book, but I love that stuff. I love learning about leadership, and this book was, books kind of come to me and I just read them. I don't necessarily study them. I just kind of take what I can from them in that moment, and this one is really cool. I'm enjoying it. It's about also about just the team's experiences in Iraq, and then translating those to business, and very cool, very relatable to what we're doing from a coaching perspective every day.
Yeah, definitely in a team here. It's really apparent that it's a family. Like the teams are, they're definitely in a family, no matter SEAL Team 1 to SEAL Team 6. They're all in a big family. You can tell, and you can tell that here too, for sure. You guys are definitely. We all are in the family. I consider you guys a family.
Cool. It makes it a lot more fun place to work and wake up and be energized, and knowing that you're coming to work with people you love being around all day.
And family, it's your favorite cousin and your crazy uncle.
Exactly. I mean, you're gonna. We're all going to have those days too, and it's it's all about communication and trust and respect, and that allows it to all coexist in a really cool energy.
Yeah, absolutely. What gets you up in the morning? That's what, when you roll out of bed or in the middle of the night, what is it that has you do what you do? What's your why?
If I could kind of hone it down into my 5 things, it would definitely be, family is number one. That's, my daughter, my wife, my sister, those are people that I definitely wake up for, every morning. I love learning about leadership, and I'm in a really cool environment where I get to make mistakes and learn from them, and from leading the team perspective, from leading the business perspective. So that definitely wakes me up in the morning. And I also would say the entrepreneurial or the business starter, however you want to use it, just the ability to learn every day and travel for me. Really, getting the opportunity to travel, educate people. That's where I continue to find myself spending my time. So, I always say, if you look at a man's calendar or a woman's calendar, you're going to see where their values are, and for me, that's definitely what you're going to see on the calendar. Definitely what you're committed to, where you spend your time and money, right?
Yeah. One last thing. If you could interview anybody, who would it be, and what would you ask them?
Ooh. Wow, there's so many people that I want to interview. So I don't know, this person is just coming up for some reason, but it would be really cool to interview like the godfather of medicine, Hippocrates. I would love to sit across that guy and just talk shop with him about, and I don't know, just ask him about, his philosophies. I mean, we have an idea, but just to hear what he thinks about his philosophies in this time, and what he's seeing now with where we're taking health and wellness, and what he would say about it would be really cool to hear. And also just kind of how I always like the question of, or finding out how people see themselves in other people. So there's always a reflection piece for me that allows you to learn more about yourself when you see your kind of shit in other people. And coaching has a really cool way of doing that. We get all different types of people to coach, and you can learn so much about yourself through them as much as they're learning from you. And coaching has that energy exchange that's really cool. So I'd like to hear Hippocrates talk about that and his lessons, and him coaching back in those days and what he sees now. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's rad. Well, Jason, I just really want to thank you for your time, and this has been really fun to get a little. I would never have guessed that's who you would interview. So that's really rad. Yeah,
I know, that's really what just came up for me.
No, that's cool.
It's a big question. There's a lot of really just so many fascinating people that I would love to sit down with, but that just came up.
Yeah. Well, I just want you to know that you're a huge part in a lot of people's lives, and I want to thank you for what you do.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for having me on the show, and really appreciate it. And likewise, I'm glad you're impacting so many people.
Right on.
Cool.
Thanks, you got it. All right. Thank you. Get the bugs out.
I'm in the house.
Just push record, mother effer.
I'm in the house.
How do you introduce yourself?
I'm in the house.
Introduce yourself.
I would say that I'm the founder of NCOA Fitness and Physical Therapy.
Well, I want to thank Jason from NCOA Fitness and Physical Therapy so much for being on the show today, and I want to thank you for listening. You can follow me at bambamculture.com is my website. Facebook, Robert Budd, business person. I'm on Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, all Robert Budd 16. Have an amazing day. an amazing experience of life, just wave to everybody. Just wave, smile, wave, and have a beautiful day. Until next time, I'm out.